Hello, everybody. I am Hoarder Gamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. I want to thank you all for joining me. We have some comic reviews. We're going to talk a little about TV. We're going to toy around, but we're not going to toy around a lot, just a little bit. Though not a lot of toying around this week. And then we're going to look all the way into the future, all the way a week from today at comic books that come out, in about a week. So, Doom, thank you. That's actually off my album. I put out a goth industrial album called under the name My Iron Spine, and that's what I record under. But yeah, the album's self-titled, and yeah, that was the first single off of it. Martin Atkins is actually doing drums on that, which really kind of blew my mind. He worked with Ministry, Nine Inch Nails. It was a really cool situation. Thank you, Kiki. We're gonna start with an insane book, a book I don't even understand, but I loved every moment of it, like every moment. This, everybody, is Starhenge. Like Stonehenge, but it's Starhenge. And this is Arthurian, so like King Arthur at the time of the Round Table and everything, mixed with cyborgs and crazy stuff going on in the future. And a line of dialogue leads us to believe this is all happening possibly at the same time somehow. You met Martin? Oh, awesome. That's very cool. Yeah, he lives in Chicago here. Well, I live in Wisconsin, but, Chicago's real close. So, what's happened is cyborgs found us, or the NAI, actually. We found their planet. We checked it out. The problem is they didn't like us being there. They screwed around with us and made cyborgs from us and decided they were going to destroy the human race. The Queen is basically the last hope of humanity and sends her son back through time in order to stop these cyborgs. So it's very similar to Kyle Reese in the first Terminator movie, or the T-800 in the second Terminator movie, which Kyle Reese sends back. Well, I'm sorry, not Kyle Reese, John Connor sends back in T2 Judgment Day. That's only part of the story. You also have a teenage couple, Amber and Daryl. And Daryl's like the football player. Seems really nice, though. And Amber describes herself as Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice. So she's kind of the goth girl. And somehow she has knowledge of the cast, which are the cyborgs that are basically trying to kill humanity, the Queen, and all of this, and we don't understand why yet. And I usually will not give you like the last page of the book because that's like a huge spoiler, but this book is so crazy that I think this will whet your appetite. Okay? I think your appetite is about to be whetted, everybody. Be prepared. Very early on in the book, there is a man who is basically seen as like evil, and he's drowned in the water, and this woman gives the order to drown him. Okay? Well, years and years later, pages later in the book, we go into the water and we see that dead body. The mouth opens up. I kid you not, a fish comes out. The fish very quickly becomes a man. Emerges from the water, and Merlin the magician is waiting to greet him. So basically the fish being the Queen's son that she sent back through time somehow. We don't understand the logistics of it all. We do know, though, that the cyborg cannot deal with magic. Magic has held them off for decades, if not over 100 years, from what they've been trying to do. So, it is crazy. It is a really good book. And yeah, he emerges and he looks at this big, tall wizard and he's like, Merlin? Yeah, I have no idea where this is going. I have no idea. And it was basically said to be a lot like, and I thought, like, it can't be like this, Terminator meets the Green Knight. And yes, I totally see that. I also see it being similar to Guardians of the Galaxy meets Game of Thrones. But I like it very much, and I do recommend it. Also, the artwork is freaking gorgeous. It is amazing looking. Like, wow. There's this one point where all the panels, if you like pull back from the page, create the entire picture. It's hard to explain it. And it shows like an ancient god of magic. We still don't know much about it, though. Like the book jumps through time and space, but it does so really well. And it keeps you interested. And yeah, I very much like this. So that's Starhenge. Now we go into our second comic book review, everybody. You all might know who this guy is. You might know who Batman is. He's here. Who's here? The Batman. That's my terrible take on Cillian Murphy from Batman Begins. But anyway, Chip Zdarsky. You're going to hear that name much later. Well, not much later. A little later. A little bit later. He has taken over the reins of Batman. He has introduced a new villain. A very mysterious villain known as Failsafe. He nearly has Robin killed in his first issue. And Penguin has basically set up this master plan, knowing that he's going to die, and made it look like Batman is the one who kills him. Yeah, not too much for one issue. You know, you just grab the reins of Batman, write your first issue, and it's insane. You nearly kill off a beloved character, and you actually do kill off I don't know if I'd say Penguin's beloved. Not sure I'd say beloved. Not sure. And apparently there's something mechanical and secretive in the Batcave that starts beeping in the very beginning of the book. And at the end, Failsafe shows up. And the Batcave looks all wrecked and screwed up. We don't know why. Big time elapse there. But yeah, now it looks like Batman was trying to murder Penguin, or actually did murder Penguin. Because Penguin he's in the hospital saying that he's dying. And get this, mercury poisoning. Now, mercury poisoning can be a very serious thing, right? Obviously. But Penguin constantly eats fish. Like, that's his thing, fish. Constantly eating fish. And they always warn you, not to eat too much fish, because you could get mercury poisoning. So the irony of Penguin succumbing to mercury poisoning. So he's in his hospital bed near death. He sends all the clues there, so he knows Batman's going to show up. Okay? Then he picks up that little thing you have in the hospital to administer medication. It looks like that at first. That's not what it is. He's calling the nurse. He's using the nurse call button. And with this hand, has a cyanide capsule. And then Penguin swallows the cyanide capsule, It's crazy. It is crazy. And you know, right, for the most part, Batman doesn't kill. Like throughout the 83 years, I believe, of Batman, a couple villains he's killed, but it's not often. It's last resort. It's not a thing he usually does. But yeah, Chip Zdarsky took us on a ride, a wild ride, as Kiki said. Yes, it was really good. And you immediately get he has a whole different way of writing the characters. He's basically willing to sacrifice everything, his identity and his entire career, to save Robin. He even has to go so far as to take Robin to the emergency room of an actual hospital and not like try surgery himself because of how severe the attack was. And Robin was just trying to open a door and let out people that were basically trapped by Penguin. Because in Penguin's final days, get this, he's out to kill the rich, literally. It is. It is really dark. It's also really good. And I'm very happy with it. Like, Chip Zdarsky's a really good writer. And we're about to mention him again relatively soon. For no apparent reason. And Jorge Jimenez is an excellent artist. And he does the art in this book. So that's the new creative team, actually, is Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez. Don't blame Penguin for killing the rich. Yeah, but it's so they have that whole like meme and that whole concept and everything. But keep in mind, no, Penguin was like born into wealth, so it's really quite hypocritical of him too. Like, you know, so beyond the violence, it's incredibly hypocritical of him. But yeah, both these books are really good. I'm happy with both of the books this week, both Starhenge 1 and Batman 125. Here's some insanity. There's an acetate cover for Batman 125. That ships next week. All the other covers shipped this week. I don't know why, but yeah, in case anyone was wondering and we're looking forward to that cover, it's really kind of neat. It's like a plastic overlay thing. It's cool looking. And it creates an image when the plastic is overlaid of like bats flying through Gotham. It's neat looking. But yeah, for some reason that ships next week. Now, we're going to toy around. We're going to toy around, and part of it's going to be really organic. And like it's like I'm going to reach out over here and I'm going to just pick up a toy. Unless it falls to the ground, and then I just cry. Thor from Love and Thunder, Ravager Thor. This is him with the t-shirt and the red vest and Stormbreaker. So I think this is a awesome figure. I like this a lot. I'm trying to show it to you without like terrible glare. But you get an idea of it right there. The sculpts on these are awesome. So I just got Thor, and I got the Mighty Thor, Jane Foster. And Jane Foster looks exactly like Natalie Portman. And for a 6-inch scale action figure, that's crazy. We looked at the Jane figure a number of weeks ago. If anyone wants to see it, I can grab it again. It's actually just right underneath this one. And if you go online, if you want to see a better version of her, it looks exactly like Natalie Portman. And for a 6-inch scale, it's absurd. It truly is. Yeah, I mean, I was shocked with how much it looks like her. Like, I was thinking, like, you know, they'll probably do an okay job. And I'm thinking, like, the test sculpt is always better than the final product. I was really impressed. Like, Marvel Legends has gotten really good at facial sculpts. Really good. I'm seeing it on Thursday. I'm actually going on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. 7 o'clock screening. And we're not done toying around. We got someone scary. Okay? We got someone scary from the 1980s. I'm setting this up now. I'm setting this up. Someone scary, 1980s. Someone strange from the town of Hawkins. Oh, hold on. I picked up the wrong frame. Sorry about that. I'm setting up this awesome opening and I completely screw it up. Everybody, say hello to Vecna. I believe Vecna is from NECA, which is funny because how similar those words are. This is the big bad in season 4 of Stranger Things. And it is an intense looking figure. I don't think he has any accessories. I don't think he needs them. Well, you know, a stand where he'd be able to kind of float with his arms downward like this would be really cool. Actually, you can't see me because you're seeing Vecna. I'll show you in a moment. But that would be neat. Like if he had some sort of stand to look like he's floating. But otherwise, I like the intensity of it. And I think he's going to be like $30. But it's, you know, a nice 6-inch figure with great detail. And Vecna's terrifying. I still have to watch the second half of Stranger Things, which is weirdly enough released like a movie. Hour and a half and a 2.5 hour movie is kind of how they did it, because it's 2 episodes that are super long. But I watched the first half, and that was great. And Vecna is absolutely one of the best villains they've had on the show. No, I don't think so either, especially with like the paint job and everything. I decided to make it easier on everybody watching and myself if I have a figure that I'm showing and there's multiple pictures, just to focus on one. So if I feel that the pictures are so out there and amazing, I'll be like, definitely go online and check it out. But like that was the best picture of Vecna. Everything else was against a white background. So yeah, you saw his detail more, but this is much creepier. So I liked this one. I like this one. Oh, Kiki, definitely check out. Did you see all of season 2? Season 3 is great. My favorite seasons are 1 and 3. I can't say 4 yet because it's not done yet for me. I haven't finished it. But 1 and 3 are great. 2 is my least favorite season, actually. I liked Sean Astin a lot in season 2. But I didn't think the big bad was as exciting. What they did with, like, the bad guys and stuff. But yeah, season 3 is great. And season 4, I think possibly it will be better than season 3. So I'm not sure yet. I'm just not sure. Yes, I have to watch season 3 of Umbrella Academy as well. I do. Now, let's talk briefly about some TV, everybody. Some television. The boob tube, if you will. Has everyone seen Ms.Marvel episode, I believe it's 3. It's the one where Kamala goes to Pakistan. No need to apologize, Doom. And welcome back. And everybody, I would like to thank Doom as well as Doom Squad Gaming for letting me borrow the YouTube channel to do the show. Thank you. Umbrella Academy is on Netflix. The new season just started, although I don't know if they released the whole thing. Kiki, do you know if they released the whole thing? Right now, it's kind of a show-by-show situation as to what they're doing. Usually it's like half the season, and then you wait on the second half. Okay, so Umbrella isn't out yet? Or Ms.Marvel? Well, basically, Kamala goes to Pakistan to meet her grandmother, and we find out about what her mother thought were issues, what Kamala's mother thought were issues with mental illness, which could actually be the fact that she's keyed into the clandestine and like aliens and stuff. It's not exactly explained at this point yet. But Kamala learns more about herself and learns that even if she is a djinn, it doesn't mean that she's evil. And she meets, I want to say they are called the Red Fang, like the teeth of a wolf or something. And they're out to basically protect people. I didn't quite understand all of that. I'll be honest. But I thought it was a good episode. I've loved all the episodes so far. And the people that are hating on the show, it blows my mind. I still have to watch the new one. I thought that in my head it would be a good idea not to watch the new one so I didn't know what was going on in that one so I could focus on the third one today. Ooh, all 10 episodes of The Umbrella Academy are available. That's awesome. Thank you, Kiki. I did not know that. And Jason Jones, hello. Okay, so it would have been episode 4. Thank you, Jason. I couldn't recall if it was episode 3 or 4. But yeah, I thought that was good. And I also, if anyone wants to talk about that, what was your favorite part of it? Of Ms. Marvel. I like how much fish out of water Kamala is in Pakistan. Like, she wears jeans to this fancy, like, tea room / restaurant, and they won't let her in. She has to eat outside, and apparently it's swelteringly hot outside. And then it's kind of weird. It's like her relatives just sort of ditch her when she's like, I want to check out something. Like, they can't... No. We will not take a half hour of our day for you, tourist, who's never been here. We're going off on our own. Have fun in Pakistan with thousands of people everywhere. Onalicious, yes! Yes, Onalicious, good to see you. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Ms. Marvel. I have to watch episode 5. I have to watch that tonight. But if no one has anything to say specifically about Ms. Marvel, we're going to talk about The Boys. The Boys. It was a very cool episode. I hope everyone's watching The Boys, by the way. This season's been really good, and so is the previous. I felt that the first season of The Boys was a little too nihilistic. And for the creator of The Boys, the actual comic creator, Garth Ennis, that's not a surprise. But even for Garth Ennis, it took nihilism to a new level. But like... Season 2 and Season 3 I thought were a lot stronger. Yeah, Karachi did look amazing. It did. Yeah, so basically The Boys was all about Huey and Billy Butcher going and trying to hunt down Soldier Boy's team that basically betrayed him and got him imprisoned, where they ran terrible experiments on him. And one of the characters locks Billy Butcher into, like, the worst parts of his memory. And that's really powerful. And you find out Billy's brother committed suicide. Because Billy ended up leaving home to escape an abusive father, and left his brother there thinking that he would be okay. And the situation wouldn't be as bad for the brother as it was for Billy, who was constantly being torn apart mentally and, beaten by his father. But sadly, that wasn't the case. And Billy's brother takes his life. And here's the painful thing, though. That happens, and this whole season, Huey and Billy have been on temporary V, which is V for Vought, the company that basically owns superheroes. And temporary V gives you powers, but only for 24 hours. He's basically got Huey addicted, and I believe that Billy is addicted as well. And even though he realizes that what he did got his brother killed, he is endangering Huey by being like, okay, one last ride with temporary V, and we'll take out Homelander and all the bad superheroes. The problem here is he just found out that your 4th or 5th dose of temporary V can be fatal. So, pretty dark. Pretty dark. The other side of the story is Kimiko. And Kimiko lost her abilities because when they were experimenting on Soldier Boy, they basically made him this powerful explosive. And this explosive is able to remove the powers from Soups. It instantly kills anyone else, like a bomb. But for Soups, it removes their powers and makes them mortal. Or human, I guess you could say. Well, this happens to Kimiko, and she's thrilled because she didn't want her powers in the beginning at all. And they made her so she can't, embrace anybody because she'd crush them. And she just can't live a normal life. And she's in love with Surge, and she can't really get romantic with him because of all this. And she has to deal with the violence that she caused with these powers. There's a whole lot. There's a lot in Kimiko's plate. But she sadly realizes when Surge and her are kidnapped in the previous episode, without her powers, she cannot protect Surge, and she cannot protect the other people in the world that she loves. Like Huey and the parts of the team that are good, like Double M. I believe it's Double M. I believe that's what he usually goes by. And she basically does this message on a phone because she is mute. And it says, I need to have my powers back. And I need them to protect you. And I don't want them back, but I have no choice. And it's this really painful thing. And Starlight, who is one of the good heroes, the truly good heroes, she is like the North Star of virtue. She has always been much more of a Superman type of character than Homelander ever has been. If you're talking about things like virtue and being a good person. She goes and she's able to get not temporary V, but full-on V. And there's a scene where Surge has to inject that into her back, into Kimiko's back, to give her powers and how painful that is and everything. And Kimiko, though, being happy that she has her powers back. I don't want to ruin the final reveal, which is in the final minute or two. But everything between Soldier Boy and Homelander completely turned upside down now. In the span of 2 minutes. The final 2 minutes of the episode. And Soldier Boy is a monster. Beyond them experimenting on him, beyond them kidnapping him to do that and his team turning on him, he was a monster. He, so far I'd say, has been worse than Homelander. The more you learn about him, the more evil and twisted you see that Soldier Boy is. But yeah, The Boys is really good. Is anyone else watching it? Again, season 2 and 3 to me are so much better than season 1. Season 1 is constantly setting up good, heroic, virtuous characters that all turn out to be monsters. That's what season 1 does. Like, there's only one character that is a good person, Starlight, who I mentioned earlier. And she goes through a terrible series of events. And it's just really intense and dark. I heard that. Well, if that's the case, that could be because of Eric Kripke. Eric Kripke did the first 5 seasons of Supernatural. And yeah, he's a really good and creative guy. I think he was an executive producer for later seasons as well, but he was no longer the showrunner of Supernatural. Picturing the singer Soldier Boy? No. It's Dean. It's Dean from Supernatural. But he has like a twisted outfit that looks like a twisted version of Captain America. Soldier Boy is like a version of Captain America. Homelander is a version of Superman. Then you have The Deep, who has intimate relations with fish. He's the Aquaman, kind of, sort of. Not exactly, because Aquaman doesn't do that. You have A-Train, who is the Flash. Just watched a French Mistake episode today where they literally get kind of... I don't know them by episode title. Well, it is called The Boys. No, it's it's for everybody. Kamiko's a great character. Starlight is an awesome character. It's definitely not just meant for boys. It is definitely not just meant for boys. Because the whole idea of it is to take down these evil soups and show the world what they really are. To expose them. But then Homelander has a terrifying thing that he says to Starlight in case she wants to do that to him. And it's a really intense few minutes of TV. Best comic for children to read. Currently? I honestly don't know. It's good to see you, Mike. I honestly don't know, to be honest with you. I don't want to say anything because a book that was just a few years ago may not be anymore. Yeah, I mean, I really focus on, teen to adult comics. No, Something is Killing the Children is not for kids. It could be for teenagers, because it's like Buffy. It's like the level of Buffy of violence and swearing and stuff like that. Oh, well, more swearing, because Buffy couldn't do it. It was TV. But, yeah, Something is Killing the Children would be good for teens. No, I'm not going to say Jed McKay's Moon Knight. I guess I could still say Amazing Spider-Man. I'm mostly caught up. I read issue 3 or 4, the new run, and I can't think of anything terribly super violent or awful that kids couldn't read. I mean, they're, certain characters they try to have approachable for everybody. Batman's always been a little bit darker, though. especially in like the last 10 to 15 years, the comic. Marvel Superhero Adventures. I've heard of that. I've not read it, though. But I have heard of it. Everybody, it is time for us to look into the future. All the way to 7 days from today. Our first book. Yeah, it might be a little too young. It might skew a little too young for me. It might. Well, would you look at this, everybody? Look at this handsome fella. Daredevil 1 by Chip Zdarsky, the same writer who took over Batman. That's right, he's working for DC and Marvel on 2 different flagship characters at the same time. But here's Daredevil 1, and this basically continues from Devil's Reign, which was an insane story about Kingpin and him basically trying to control New York, and it didn't work out for him. It didn't. And here's the new Daredevil book. And Elektra is supposed to be in this too, and she's basically a Daredevil as well now. But yeah, this is a huge book. This comes out next week. Daredevil #1. It really is awesome. There used to be a point where, similar to like the old school movie studios, you were under contract for one and you did a whole mess of movies. This is way back though. We're talking about the 40s. But with comics, probably as recent as 2000, 2005 even, you kind of worked at one company at a time. But now, like Tom Taylor, he's writing books for Marvel and DC at the same time. Chip Zdarsky is. That's something that can be done. I've read a number of things by Zdarsky. I'm very interested to see his take on Daredevil and see what he does. Because whenever you have a #1, you're doing something different. You're changing things up. And Batman seems to be doing that with 125. Sure, but that's a new creative team that took over. Similar situation somewhat here. I'm interested to see what happens with it. So yeah, Daredevil 1, that's a good book. I might review that next week. I definitely will pick it up because I want to know where it's headed. Taylor's work at Marvel has been pretty weak though, nothing like Deceased. You don't like his what's the name of it? He's doing something like Dark Knights of Steel, but he's doing it for Marvel. Trying to remember the name of it. It's really weird. It's 2 very similar concepts. His Superman, Son of Kal-El, is one of the biggest hits in comics right now. I just read the most recent issue. It was really good. What do I drink when I read comics? Diet Pepsi? If I'm drinking anything, it only takes 15 to 20 minutes to read a comic book, so I don't want to spill anything on it, so I may not be drinking anything. So we have Daredevil 1 then. That comes out next week. Bye, Daredevil. Next up. This one's crazy. I'm going to try to enlarge this so you can kind of see what it is. It's just about every Avenger, X-Men, and Eternal. This is Axe, everybody. This is one of the biggest comic book events for Marvel in a long time. What does AX stand for? Avengers, X-Men, Eternals. So, with X-Men, there's the island of Krakoa. Technically, the X-Men are now immortal. The Eternals do not like that. And it basically is going to create a massive war between the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Eternals. And this is issue 1 by one of my favorite comic book writers, Kieran Gillen. Again, not like the actress Karen Gillan, Kieran Gillen. So I'm very excited for this. It's a 6-issue series. This is issue 1. I will try to get this cover because it's awesome. I was able to see it on a bigger screen, and the detail's crazy with all the characters in it. But yeah, this is going to be a nutty book, but will probably change the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Eternals. I almost said the Millennials. There is no Marvel Millennials book yet. No Marvel Millennials yet. But yes, this is huge. So if I were to say what big, juicy books to sink your teeth into next week for sure, if you're a Marvel fan, Eve of Judgment #1, and Daredevil #1 for sure. For sure. This should have hit Waldo. Yes, I suppose I could drink a regular Pepsi. I occasionally have a regular Mountain Dew. I got the pineapple and the mango ones, but I have like maybe 1 can every 2 days. I try not to have too much sugared soda. Eternals and Inhumans always hating on mutant kind. No, Kieran Gillen is doing this, and I'm very happy about that. Jason, I think he's doing one of the other X books, too. I think he's doing either Red or Immortal. I read both of those, but I confuse who writes them. I believe L. Ewing is one of them, and I think Kieran Gillen is another. Hey, Misplaced. Let the mutants be great. Yeah, the Pineapple Mountain Dew Baja Gold is awesome. The mango's pretty good too, but the pineapple's amazing. Welcome to Hoarder Soda Jerk. Time to jerk some soda. Let's see. Trying to have rogue powers. Well, okay. So you just want every power. What period of rogue are we talking? Thought that Vader was his Marvel swan song. Darth Vader by Kieran Gillen is really good. Jason, I honestly feel Kieran's run on Vader was better than Sewell's. I got like 10 issues of the Sewell run and thought it was good, but I thought Kieran Gillen took it to a scary, insane place. Like, he had all these ideas like, I didn't think Vader would do this. Atom Eves. But yes, this is a heavy hitter right here, everybody. This is a book I highly recommend. Now, this is one of those books that I'm not the biggest fan, but some of you might be. And does anyone know what these first print issues come with? Has anyone picked up Fortnite X Zero War #1? I don't know. A lot of comic writers are constantly working on multiple projects at the same time. Like Donnie Cates exhausts me. Ram V exhausts me. Does Ram V sleep? Venom. Carnage. Swamp Thing. Aquaman Andromeda. Am I missing anything? And those are all really good. She's from Invincible. I have not seen Invincible. I need to see it. I also should read the comic. I can't believe I haven't read that comic series. That's cool, Misplaced. But this right here, Fortnite X Marvel Zero War, you get a cosmetic if you purchase this book. First printings of this book come with a code. The first code was an awesome Spider-Man skin, which I think sold for like $10 or $15 if you didn't buy the issue. So, try to, get to a comic shop if you want the cosmetic. I cannot guarantee this will be a full character skin, nor does the cover tell you what the character is. So don't absolutely expect it to be Iron Man. It could be, but don't expect that. Because like the other cover had Spider-Man on it, or one of the other covers did, but it was a different Spider-Man suit that you got with as the DLC. So a Black Widow in like a futuristic suit was also on that cover, and I don't know if that'll be a skin as well or what, or if this will be a backpack or a glider. It doesn't say, just a cosmetic. My guess is Fortnite will announce it on Monday or something, or Tuesday, because I think the book comes out Wednesday. But yeah, even if you pre-order this comic, it doesn't tell you what the cosmetic is. It's kind of a surprise for you. But yes, I figured someone watching this would be interested, would definitely want that cosmetic, and perhaps the book itself. But I definitely wanted to mention this because these books are very popular, and people love the cosmetics. Everybody, I have talked about this for a while now. We're almost there to August, where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Armageddon Game begins. This insane, complicated, lunatic plan from the Rat King goes into motion. And this is the prequel to it. Opening moves. I believe it's the same writer that's actually going to be doing the series itself, Armageddon Game. And Armageddon Game, as far as I know, is going to actually just be the issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So as long as you get that monthly, you'll be getting the installments of Armageddon Game. And this is the opening moves. Maybe there'll be another book like this that'll end it. I don't know. But yeah. Feast your eyes on this picture, everybody. There's Shredder. I believe that's the Rat King, I believe. With the coloring, it's hard for me to... I'm pretty sure that is. Yeah, because I think that's his hair. Because he has a whole Nosferatu vampiric look now. He looks quite a bit different than he did, like, before. Look at this right here, everybody. Look at this insanity. Wrap your minds around what the hell this is right here. I'm about to tell you, this is Leather Krang. Krang inside of Leatherhead's body. Somehow. I don't know how. I don't know when. But I was like, that's insane. But yeah, I think Armageddon Game will be really cool. I think it'll have a lot of insane twists and turns. They're really building the story up. So I'm excited for it. Also, the writer, but last name Waltz, he's returning to the book right now. So he's actually, I guess, a favorite writer of the series. And I've read Turtles on and off for a number of years, so I don't know if I've read Walt's run at all. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it's a great cover. Yeah, the artwork is awesome. There's 2 or 3 covers for this book, and this was my favorite one. So this is the one I figured I'd show everybody. Everybody, right now, it is time for me not to play a ghost piano, but for me to prime the pump. I'm priming the pump to see if anyone has any questions, anything they want me to review, any comics questions you have, any suggestions. I'm priming the pump for that right now. Okay? And now I will do the wonderful outro for these new comics that come out next week. These were the comics of 7 days from today. But yes, do we have any questions? Anything you want me to review? Oh, that's a good question. Like a comic that existed before and doesn't currently, or... Because, like, I wanted a Cuphead comic book, and I think that's coming now. That don't exist at all. So, okay, so something that, okay, I see what you're saying. I could easily answer this. Pushing Daisies. One of my favorite TV series with the showrunner Brian Fuller behind it was this wild story of the pie maker who could basically touch someone and they came to life for a minute. And he used this ability in order to figure out murders and all these other mysteries. And he uses this ability to find out about a murder. And for some reason, this victim of the murder, or I don't think she was murdered. I'm trying to remember what happened with her. But anyway, she doesn't die right away. But he falls in love with her, and if he touches her again, she will forever. But yeah, Pushing Daisies was an amazing show. And for a while, Brian Fuller was going to do a comic book for it. It never panned out. The other comic book I would want would be Daniel Knopf doing Carnival. This awesome HBO series that was way ahead of its time and complicated and insane. And so much so that the first 2 seasons were just Act 1. And it was supposed to have 3 acts, a total of 6 seasons. It got 2 seasons, and it ended in an insane way. It's the ultimate battle of good versus evil in the 1930s Dust Bowls. And it involves a traveling carnival and a radio preacher. One is the avatar of good. One's the avatar of evil, also known as the left hand of the Father, the right hand of the Father. Wrath of God, mercy of God. So not technically evil, but, you know, what we would consider the wrath of God if it was coming down upon us. But yeah, Carnival was really cool. It was an HBO series. And yeah, both of those, I would love those as comics. That was a good question. That was a very good question. Do you have any suggestions, anybody, for anything I should review? Or anything you want me to review? Do you want me to review Daredevil 1? Or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Okay, I'll definitely review Daredevil 1 then. I definitely will review that then. I'll have that for next week. I'm very interested to see where it goes. Because usually in the first issue, you have some concept of what the creator's doing. Like, even with Amazing Spider-Man 1 that came out a few months ago, you could kind of see, okay, this is going to have a lot to do with Peter and Mary Jane, and all that being very different than it was. Also setting up Tombstone on the level of like a Green Goblin, which is pretty wild. Definitely Matt Murdock. I might end up doing the Turtles book too. I just don't know how big it is. Because at $5.99, that has me worried it's 60 pages. Or something like that. So I don't know if I'll have the time to review both. But I'll definitely do Daredevil. Am I doing a Dungeons and Dragons stream? While I like Dungeons and Dragons, I don't have like a group to play with. I'd have to figure out the time and all that type of stuff. So no, not currently. Okay, if we don't have any other questions or suggestions, I want to thank you all very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. This show is always somewhere between a half hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So right now we actually hit about an hour. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for having excellent questions. Thank you for keeping the conversation going. Thank you. And anybody that watches this on demand, thank you also very much. Thank you. Although, again, I don't know. Maybe it's just called watching it on YouTube. Most things are just sort of on YouTube. So I don't know if you even use the term on demand. Well, Kiki, thank you for being here. Thank you. But yes, everybody, thank you all very much. And I will see you next week again, 8 p.m. Central. I'll talk a little bit about Thor Love and Thunder next week. We might do that actually instead of TV, or maybe we'll both. I don't know yet. I don't know. D&D group together? Let me think about that, because I have a number of projects I'm working on right now. But thank you, Jason. Thank you. Thank you, Annalicious. Everybody, thank you. My next, if you want to ever catch my stream, Hoarder Gamer, I'm on Twitch. And my next stream is going to be on Friday. Usually there would be one tomorrow. There might be, but it won't be scheduled. It would be just like, here I am. Because I'm seeing Thor Love and Thunder tomorrow night. So I don't know with my schedule if I'm going to be able to stream tomorrow. But yes, everybody, thank you. And maybe I'll see you Friday. Also, do not forget, Doom Squad Gaming Block Party, Friday night. Suki is okay. We'll be hosting. Definitely check them out. I hope it's good. Reviews have been kind of all over the place, but I'm looking forward to it. I like Taika Waititi. I like his sense of humor. So I think I'll like it. I'm hoping I will. But yes, everybody, thank you very much. Thank you, Misplaced. I hope I do. I hope I do enjoy the movie. I really do. Everybody, have a wonderful night, and thank you very much for watching. Or, day, whatever time you end up seeing this. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.